Yep.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the Green Party series of Illinois. I'm your host, David Rich, with my co-host, Calvin Tomashko. Calvin, how are you?
Hey, it's doing great. I'm happy to be here.
Good. It's good to have you back again. We have a very important subject to talk about, and this is actually recurring. We had Joy Bunton, who's one of our guests on, and also Anna Schefelbein on. Anna's like oftentimes kind of behind the scenes producer of the show. She's a big help for this series. Joy, this is your second time on here within like a month, I want to say. I want to say it was like 4 or 5 weeks ago, tops. Two? Okay.
Yeah,
somewhat recently. So last time we had you on, we talked about Medicare for All, about the importance of it, the need for it, the rallies that are coming up on July 24th, both in Chicago and I know in Washington there's a big one, and we'll get to where else it's happening in the country as the conversation goes along. But thank you for coming back, Joy and Anna. Good to see you. And so why don't we get right into it, because again, this is an important topic to talk about. Calvin, you want to take the baton here?
Sure, I can take the baton. How big is this event? Why should people care about it? And let's start with Joy. Why don't you feel that?
Okay.
How big is this? Is this a big thing?
I believe it's a big thing. It's hard for me to tell you exactly how big. I know how big I want it to be, how big some people think it's going to be. I know there are buses of people coming in. So as big as people coming in, make it to be. If people come, it will be. The more people come, the bigger it will be. I want it to be big. I want many people coming. I want everybody and their mama to be there.
So is this only in one city or a couple of cities? How many we got?
No, at last I heard it might be 52.
Oh, wow.
So,
That's fabulous. Yeah, that's great. Yes. I didn't know that.
Yes, it's gotten just so big I can't keep track of all those cities. Every time I turn around, there's another city, or there's a city and then it'll go away and then someone else will pick it up, and always something. It just keeps getting bigger and bigger.
That's a real testament to how many people are really on board for this whole thing.
Yes, absolutely.
I think 52 cities. That's a good number.
Yeah.
Yes,
that was in a short amount of time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very short.
Yeah, for sure.
A
Wow.
lot of people want to get, have their voices heard, and want to get in the streets, want to let people know this is a thing. This is a big thing, regardless of what happens in Congress. This is a thing. This is what the people want.
Yeah, for sure. Why does our government not want it? That's the question. If they're supposed to be representing us, I don't get it. Anyway, if I may, Calvin, real quick, what do we have any? Do you know of any high profile politicians that are saying that they're going to attend these rallies anywhere? Like in Washington, is AOC saying anything? Is Bernie Sanders saying anything? Have you heard anything like that?
I am not aware of Congress people offhand. I know there's been outreach to them. Some people are unavailable.
Sure.
I'm waiting. I actually did reach out to Chuy Garcia to make an appearance. I haven't heard anything yet. I do have some local people. I have Mike Simmons and Junaid Ahmed, and about 5 of our Chicago alder people.
Those are alder people. I don't live in Chicago, so.
Yeah, we have those people I also have Kelly Cassidy. She's a state rep. Mike Simmons is a state senator. Junaid is running in the 8th district. We have Brandon Johnson is Cook County Commissioner. He's coming. Yeah. We also have, in terms of the alder people, it's Daniel Espada, Rosanna Rodriguez, Carlos Rodriguez
Santana.
Rosa. No. Byron Cesar Lopez, Andre Vasquez, and Jeanette Taylor.
Okay.
Yeah. So
that's great. That's great. Yeah, that's really exciting. Are there going to be speeches given at the rally, or is it just is it a march? Are you marching down a street? Are you gathering in one place?
And we're gathering in one place. We're gathering and we're going to march and then gather again at the rally. We're gathering over at Maggie Daly Park, which is across from Blue Cross Blue Shield.
Perfect.
And marching down to the Federal Plaza. and we're going to be having the speakers there. One of the speakers is Dr. Pam Gronemeyer. She's with PNHP Illinois and PDA Illinois, as well as Southern Illinois People for Progress. And we also have
Green Party.
Yes, and Illinois Green Party. Thank you. Yes. And
Oh wait,
we also,
the Green Party's involved.
Yes.
Sorry to interrupt, but I want to make sure Anna gets a moment to speak real quick. Anna, why are
absolutely.
you excited about this, and what's the Green Party up to in regards to this?
Well, we were one of the organizers early on to this march, and we were able to provide some grassroots democracy tools that were encrypted, so that was a good thing for security levels. So we were able to make a coalition of various parties and people, and be able to come together and really push this policy forward in a united front. And so it's amazing. There was like 45 or 48 cities last week, and so now there's more. So it's just some more synergy. As we were saying, Americans want this. People want this. So it's up to us to remind the politicians who's in power. And so on July 24th, I hope that they take a note or two about who's actually in power.
Excuse me, I love that. Get right to the heart of democracy.
That's right.
Real quick, I just want to give a shout out to Lando Tulit. He's here on the comments section here, and he's asking where it is. Like, where does it start? Where does it go? You said where it ended up. Where does it, the whole route?
Yeah, it starts from the Maggie Daley Plaza Park. Maggie Daley Park across from Blue Cross Blue Shield, which is over on what is it, like Randolph and
Randolph.
Yeah, Randolph. Thank you. Yeah, we're about there. We're going to take Columbus or Randolph down to Michigan, left on Michigan, all the way down to Adams, and take a right and go west on Adams down to the Federal Plaza.
Here we go.
Very cool. Anybody else? Go ahead.
I just want to say real quick, we got the website right here that you can go check out, and you can find it, if you happen to be out of state right now watching this, or you just generally watch from another state over. Hi, welcome. Thank you for joining. And you can find your nearest city to you. As I said, 50 plus cities. And they're going to have all the information at this site. Go ahead, Anna.
Yeah, so I'm also excited for this coalition. We're moving beyond July 24th as well. This is not just the end. July 24th is not the end of this strategy. So we're moving forward with it. So August 3rd, we're going to be doing this more on the local level. And so if you want to join in, please sign up, and then we'll get you on board. We do have one more planning meeting tomorrow. Tuesday is at 8 p.m. Central Time. So that's for the Chicago March. And then we'll do a debrief on the following Tuesday, and that is the 27th. And then August 3rd, we're back to work, and we're going to be doing it on the local levels in Illinois. So we're really excited for this.
Very cool. Very exciting. Okay. So we have a dissenting opinion here. Obsidian saying socialism is the philosophy of failure. Okay, so socialism is an economic system, not a philosophy, so he's already wrong. Or she, I don't know who you are. But also there are a multitude of different types of, talked about this last time, of single payer or Medicare for all systems. Okay, it's not necessarily a socialist system, first of all. Secondly, you probably don't even know what socialism is, sir. Socialism is an economic system run by the workers. It may or may not have anything to do with the government control. Thank you anyway. But again, like Canada has, it's all of the clinics, the doctor's offices, the hospitals, those are all privately run, privately owned, that kind of thing. It's just the government kind of acts as a giant, one single insurance company. They collect taxes, all get allocated for healthcare, and then the doctors bill the government and they pay them. That's basically what it is. And it's also ranked as the #1 healthcare system in the world, by the way. So, but thank you for your thoughts there, if I dare call them that. So anyway, Joy, what time does the event start? How long are you expecting it to last? Are you expecting, is there Kool-Aid at the end? Is there any fruit punch? What's going on?
It starts at 11 o'clock. We plan to start marching at 12. And we plan for the rally to start around 1 p.m. And we expect to close around 2 p.m. But,
Oh, okay. So Get in there, get it done, huh? Get
Yes.
your voices heard and get home.
Yes.
Okay, very cool. I'm really curious to see if any. I'm gonna have to look this up later to see if any, like high-profile politicians are going to be at these events. Like Bernie. I would imagine if anybody, it'd be Bernie Sanders and AOC, for sure.
Yeah. There's been outreach to Bernie. I don't know if they've been able to get a response or not.
Well, I can't imagine Bernie Sanders is not like just stupid busy all the time.
He is probably stupid busy.
Joy, I wanna ask. We're expecting a lot of people at these events. We're especially at the Chicago one. We're expecting buses of people making their way in, representing, coming together. What about the folks that live really, really far away in like rural South Illinois? What can they do to try to help out with the efforts and make a really good showing?
Ooh, that's a good question. I hadn't thought of that. I wish Pam Gronemeyer was here because she's in Southern Illinois. I don't know if there are arrangements to take a bus or not, but Heartlands Media will be streaming live. So if they just want to watch and cheer from, virtually, that's fine too. If there is a bus, I will find out if there is a bus coming from the south. They're definitely welcome to come on up. That's fine. Or they can, drive or, what have you. That'd be fine. Just come on. Just come on up.
Come on down.
Yeah.
I would also encourage them to find a couple friends and get a couple signs and go out in your local towns. We are still being very careful with COVID. We are requiring masks. We're social distancing, and so please, if you feel comfortable going at your local city hall or your local usual protest place, feel free. Obviously, and we encourage that to happen. And if you can, tag and we'll put it on here. Do the hashtag M4A. And so what we're hoping to do is also get some Facebook Lives and other live feeds from the Chicago March, from other places that are doing. I know some local chapters are doing their own actions, just in solidarity of the march and of all these people getting together behind one issue, and it's just provide health care. It's a basic right. Who knew asking for this was being asking for a lot?
Exactly.
It's pretty crazy to think about the overall resistance against this idea. I mean, we're probably the last first world country that would adopt it. I mean, I can't think of. I don't know. Maybe there's some other first world. I can't think of any. I mean, Israel, do you know Israel's socialist as much as we love and support Israel? And nobody seems to talk about that.
I know.
I mean, it's a full-blown socialist government. I mean, just all our allies are socialists. I mean, what? I don't get it.
In the terms of like, markets have been under our government regulations. So like Medicare For All system, the socialized medicine system, like all of our allies have it. Why don't we? It's really bizarre. Totally right.
Very bizarre.
Yeah, every what are the chances that everybody else is wrong and one country is right?
Yeah.
It's not very high. I mean,
I get the question a lot of how will we fund it? And I ask, are we questioning how we fund war? Are we questioning how we fund weapons?
Yeah.
So if we're not questioning these, but we're questioning how are we going to fund healthcare, maybe we're not doing the right questioning.
Right. I mean, the Social Security is the biggest part of the federal budget. The very close second is the military. You just take a little bit of that fat out of the military, and you can probably pay for at least most of the Medicare For All system. So it's not. There's nothing. And again, the most, as far as I know, the economists are chiming in on this, say that if you went single payer one way or another, you're going to actually cut out like 40% of your spending. We spend more in healthcare costs than any country in the world. And I understand that part of that is because technology is expensive. I get that, and pharmaceutical experiments and that kind of thing. And there might even be some regulations from the FDA that need to kind of relax a little bit. I do know that it's like many decades ago, there was this a 4-year duration of time that a pharmaceutical company had to come up with like the efficacy of their product, and they bring it to the FDA, and the only job the FDA had was to check to make sure that it was safe.
Right.
Then all of a sudden they changed it to now they have to make sure that the FDA itself makes sure that it works and it's safe. Well, the pharmaceutical company already checked to see if it works. That's why it's a product. So now it went from 4 years to 14 years. So you have 10 more years of experimentation, work on that kind of thing, which causes a lot of delays in pharmaceutical products getting out there for people, and people are dying. I mean, there was a big deal with the AIDS crisis in the 80s. Pharmaceutical companies had a lot of options for some things, maybe not curing it, but slowing it down, being able to deal with that kind of thing. But the FDA said, no, you got to wait. It's regulations aren't always the best thing, but that's me. That's my rant. Okay.
I wanted to add on to that idea that maybe you can't make it all the way to Chicago on the 24th coming up. Maybe you can donate to the fund. We do have a link that we'll be sharing here shortly, and it should be in the comments after this gets published. But that's where you can donate as well. And Joy, you can talk about that if you'd like.
Sure.
I also want to mention how freaking cool it is to go out into your own neighborhood if you can't make it all the way to Chicago.
Max, mute. Oh, there you go.
Somebody's on mute. Oh, okay.
Your mic shut off for a second.
Gotcha. So I just think it's so cool to grab some cardboard, make a stance in your own neighborhood. It adds to the overall splash that we are making into America's consciousness on the 24th. We're really going to make it front and center for a lot of people, and hopefully that turns into more actions like calls to your senators, calls to your representatives, and just a huge push and letting them feel the pressure. I want our representatives to feel the pressure to answer to us, to our needs. But Joy, can you talk a little bit about that that link to donate? What's that going towards?
That's going towards our expenses and basically it's going towards expenses in terms of what we have planned, because we had to raise money for the porta potties. There were 2 of them, and one of them has wheelchair access, and we had to pay for the sound guy with the stage and sound equipment. We'd like to also pay for I have the performer. We have Maggie Brown performing. I'd like to be able to offer her compensation, food and whatever she had to spend to be there. So things like that. Yeah.
I love it. And probably also for printing signs. I've held a small protest myself, and just the printing signs and getting it so that it looks official. It looks like a well-organized event. It does cost some money, and a lot of people volunteering. So it's a great way to support the cause. I'll put that link up on the screen now. I think I've got it.
Thank you. Yeah, like flyers. And we were able to borrow a printer for Kathy. She's great to print flyers on, and she of course she ran out of toner. Of course she knew it. It's color printers, so she had to go and get some more ink. So I'd like to be able to put money back in people's pockets who went into their pockets. We also have like 400 bumper stickers. So excited to work to give those.
Nice. Is it just M for all? Or something?
M for all. Yeah.
Okay, I want one of those.
Oh, great. Cool.
So where did this all start? Well, who said like, hey, let's have a rally on July 24th, 2021?
That was Sharif Snuggs. He's in New York, and he was frustrated with Congress and the forced the vote and stuff, and so he was like, I'm going to do something. And I think Bernie Sanders had said the time is now. It's like, yeah, it is now. It's and Bernie and Obama have both said real change comes from the bottom up. So it's perfect. So he was thinking doing something in DC, and he reached out to someone he met named Ricky Dunlop, and they were thinking, why just DC? Why not also, here and there, and starting to reach out to other people they've met, like in Slack and so forth, and then Chicago came up, and a friend of mine that I knew said, you should call Joy. She knows everybody. It's a little joke because one day I was going through some people that I followed that happened to follow me back, and so then they made the joke. Joy knows everybody, but I don't. So
you do.
I know people who know people. I guess I kind of got like the 6 degrees of separation thing or whatever.
Yeah.
2 degrees.
Oh, everybody goes back to you and Kevin Bacon. Nice.
Yeah, me and Kevin Bacon. I did go to the same high school as Michelle Obama. So
Did you really?
I probably find someone who could if I needed to, but I don't have a direct line. But same high school, just 5 years apart, though. Not at the same time. But yeah, I went to Whitney Young.
Which one?
Whitney Young.
Where is that?
Whitney Young. It's 211 South Laughlin, I think. It's been
So South Side. I know that her family. Oh,
it's west
her
side.
family's from the west side. Okay.
It's west of it's like near Rush. No, not near Rush. It's near UIC, I think. It's like near Jackson. It's near Jackson.
Okay, I don't know Chicago, but
okay. Oh, I know. It's very close to the Malcolm X College.
Okay, there you go.
All right. Okay. There you go.
But okay, so Anna, what's going to be your part of this whole situation? Like, are you going to be physically present at the Chicago one, or are you going to kind of commandeer from another area? Okay.
Yeah, I will be there, and I will be helping out as needed. So I'm excited to meet some of the fellow Greens and other fellow members of the coalition, and to do some exciting marching and parades. I've been to a couple rallies this year. Actually, most of them were for Medicare For All. So we're just continuing that on. And DuPage County, we do a monthly action for Medicare For All. That's on the first Saturdays at noon, and we're at the Dandelion Fountain in Naperville. So we've been doing a good job holding the fort there, and I have a honk for Medicare For All sign, so we get lots of honks.
Oh, great.
And, it's real fun. I've been an activist for over 20 years, so this was one of the going out on the weekly peace vigil. It's always a good tradition in the people, and so I'm happy to carry that.
Oh, great. Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah, that's great.
It is very cool.
Calvin, is this near your place at all? Are you going to be physically present?
Oh,
or
I'm there. I'm there. It's one of my favorite things is to protest in downtown. One, I think it catches a lot of people's attention there. And two, the echo of the architecture really resonates back and lets us hear our own voice and hear it boom and get shot through the downtown area down the street. And I just think it feels so cool to be together. I'm sure that's how a lot of choir students feel when they all come together and they make something strong together. So I just love that moment. I love going down there. So yeah, I'll be there. And I was just thinking, what would be some good chants? I don't think we don't need to go through it all right now, but I think for everybody watching, I think you should put it in the comments what you think some good chants might be for this march in particular. I think that'd be really cool. Sometimes a march is like really, really brought together by some good chants. So hopefully we got some creative people out there that can help us with that.
They had some good ones last year all over the country concerning the police brutality. I won't say it on air because it was
there were some good ones. I remember a few of those.
We have to think about what rhymes with all and improve Medicare For All and
don't drop the ball.
Don't drop the ball.
Here we go.
Stall, all, mall, fall.
Yeah.
Draw.
Before the fall, pass Medicare For All.
We need to have some fun. Maybe after this call, we'll work out some of it.
We definitely need some chants.
I have a question about the history of America's connecting their healthcare with the workplace. What's the deal with that? Why did that ever start? Because it is dumb. It's so dumb.
It's pretty dumb.
I wish I knew. It is so dumb because I had to experience my own little awful experience when I had lost my job and I couldn't afford that doggone Cobra. I'm like, who can afford the Cobra? after you lose your job. I'm like, unless you happen to have enough money stashed away, which I didn't, and I couldn't afford that, so I couldn't afford, I couldn't afford coverage so that I could have cheaper prescription, payments, and I couldn't afford to see my doctor, and my health went worse. So it's ridiculous. And unemployment, they think you can't qualify for Medicaid. They want to give you the Obamacare or whatever, and it's just a mess. It's not right. People having to depend so much on that job, and even with the job, you can have crappy health care coverage.
Yeah,
right.
Even when you're in a union, you have to negotiate. And rather than negotiating for higher salary, you have to negotiate for the benefit of healthcare. And part of that struggle, like healthcare should just be a given. It should be for every citizen. Anna, what are your thoughts? Do you know why that all got started? I've heard it before.
I don't know why. I know that on record, since 1912, Carrie Barber was talking about that with Joy and I the other day.
Yes, that's right.
It was first on record in 1912. So it's been over 100 years, for this country since then. But even on like ACA, there's still over 30 million people who still are uninsured. And
exactly.
If I was in a different country and I broke my arm or broke my leg, sure, I hope that they take care of me just out of basic
humanity. Yeah. Again, it's a no-brainer. What do you mean you're going to deny somebody health care because they don't have money? That's ridiculous. That's the most evil thing I've ever heard in my life.
Right. In this country, look, education is based on income, and to go back to the comment before with our roads, our education system. When I was taught in grammar school, I don't know if this is still the way, but you pull your money together as a society and you give it out equally to make sure everybody gets basic needs met. Roads, schools, hospitals. You want to make sure that
fire departments.
People are fire departments, community policing, where you have your friendly police officer there, and you can teach your children they're friendly police officers. So these are the things that, as I was growing up, that was the idealistic view that was being taught to me. And I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. I think that we have a lot of corporate contributions in politics. That's not something that I would want in my political realm. And we need to have these politicians to start saying no to it, make it a non-issue.
That's right. Like a litmus test for all of them.
Right. Keep it clean.
And same with the post office, same with libraries. I mean, they're just better.
And the irony of it all is that is exactly how insurance companies work, is you all pay in and you take out when you need it. Except for it includes profit and a ton of administrative costs and all sorts of unnecessary spending, which is probably a lot of the reason why if you went to single payer, you'd reduce the spending by 40%. That probably has a lot to do with that, is cutting that stuff out. But the insurance company is, basically a socialized system in that you pay in, and when you need money, you go and you take it out. That's how it works. So I don't know why all the politicians are so opposed to just making that a single payer system, which would be more efficient, seemingly. It's just because our politicians. This is a capitalist economy. The capitalism loves profit.
But we need it free at the point of service, because part of the problem right now is if you have a deductible that you still have to pay down. Service. Yeah, then you're worried about how much that's going to spend or cost you to get just a routine checkup, even, or to check something with your back before it becomes a full blown I don't know, broken back situation. Like to check on something before it develops into a worse version. That's really important. So preventative care is automatically going to go up because it's free at the point of service. You don't have to worry. You're ill, you go get treatment. You don't have to function in finances at that point.
Right. I feel for the people who have to choose the rent over healthcare, or the fear over the cost of insulin. Insulin. It shouldn't be that much. And I think more and more people are becoming aware of these costs in different countries, and wondering why it costs a little bit of amount in a different country and a higher amount in the US. And maybe it's the internet, maybe it's some Facebook post out there, but people are beginning to realize that maybe we should have healthcare in this country. Maybe you shouldn't have to look in your wallet and see how much you have before you go to the doctor, before you go get that checkup. It should just be a basic health right.
I agree.
Yeah. We even had there was a strike by nurses and health care workers at the John Stroger and Cook County hospitals just recently. I think they finished it last week. They were protesting against having to pay more in health care. It's like, they were like, Tony Preckwinkle, hello. So fortunately they worked something out, and so they're back. But
yeah. My like kind of hidden favorite part about Medicare for All is not so much hidden. It's just the idea of Medicare for All is already amazing, but let's add on that care insurance. Oh, how do I keep losing everybody?
I don't know. It was weird. It was like a quick second, and then you came back. Okay.
And I don't understand how we don't have dental included with health insurance. I don't get how we don't have mental health covered. I don't get why eyes are considered different. Like this, it's all part of me. What are you doing? It's part of my health. Like, just give me it so that I have and I believe you can't even have like proper dental insurance in this country, which is super bizarre. So that's one of my favorite things. I don't know if anyone else wants to pop off about their favorite part about Medicare for All, but I think it's cool to celebrate the thing that we're fighting for as well.
Yeah. Well, with that is we call it improved Medicare for All, because then the improved part comes with dental, it comes with vision. So these are things that the people, when they were drafting these items, also thought were important to their bodies and to their health. One of the things that I hope to accomplish out of Medicare, for the improved Medicare for All, is when the doctors say that something is necessary, the insurance company can't deny it. So I've heard that this happens. It hasn't happened to me, but I've heard that this happens, where the doctors recommend something, that a procedure needs to happen, or something needs to happen, and the insurance says, "Oh no, we can't cover it. It's not medically necessary." Like the doctor, that we should be holding our doctors to high standards, right? We should believe the doctor. So how come these insurance companies can't believe the doctor that they are also in network with? So that kind of is like, to my art, like, why is that an item that people have to worry about?
I think that was actually a product of Obamacare, unfortunately, is that the insurance company was able to commandeer a lot more power over the actual spending and what was going to spend on, because it was, in fact, flipping the bill. I remember one of my GP like several years ago, whatever, I don't remember exactly what was going on, but she wanted to do X to me, but she said, but I can't because the insurance company won't let me. I'm like, what? I'm like, that's great. That's crazy. You're the doctor. She's like, I know. And then there's this whole argument that, if insurance companies can do that, then they're actually practicing medicine without a license, which is illegal. Because they're actually prescribing you, by saying no to a prescribed method by a doctor is, in a sense, practicing medicine. So no, it's ridiculous that, and we just, the insurance company, the insurance industry is an absolutely unnecessary mediator between, the patient and paying the doctors. We don't, it's between you and your doctor, really, and it should be about that. Just as long as the money is there to cover everybody, the doctor should have the say. They went to med school for 10 years. No, I get it. I know that's very frustrating and pretty ridiculous. It's embarrassing. The whole system's embarrassing. America should be embarrassed.
So. Yeah, I had that where I was trying to get a prescription and the insurance didn't want to cover it. They wanted to cover a different insurance that wasn't as effective for me. And I'm like, well, I want to take that drug. That doesn't help. So I'll take this one. So the doctor said, give me this one. And it's just stupid. It's ridiculous. I hate it.
It is.
Yeah.
Another benefit is I think it'll help our veterans, and so our veterans will also be covered in this, and so they won't have to be reliant on the VA system. That's the Veterans Administration, which is great when you live close to a VA center. But if you don't live close to a VA center, I've heard that it is more difficult to get the services needed. And so, our veterans deserve health care, and they deserve mental care as well.
You know how much? Yeah, these men and women come back, especially if they're deployed in actual battle. They come back all sorts of screwed up. I mean, even ones that aren't deployed in battle. I mean, the military is so good at brainwashing people and turning them into sociopaths that people come. Yeah, they get out of the military and they need some help, man. And they need mental. We need to focus a lot more on mental health in this country. You probably solve a lot. It's a big part of the whole police brutality thing. Is their inability to understand how to deal with mental health and that kind of thing. It's becoming more and more of an issue. All the mass shootings and stuff like that. Again, I said this before, but if you have the wherewithal to go out and start just shooting people in public, there's something wrong with you. And you probably need to lay on a couch and talk to somebody because something's wrong. You're not really necessarily just a criminal. There's something not clicking right. So yeah.
And we had several mental health clinics that were closed down thanks to Rahm Emmanuel in Chicago.
Really?
Yeah, I think it was like 50 or something. I forget how many schools versus how many mental health clinics, and so we were trying to pressure Lori Lightfoot to reopen them. And some of the organizations that have endorsed us, that's what they're working on, trying to reopen the mental health clinics, such as Stop Chicago and Alliance for Community Services. Yeah, we're trying to get that done. So it's so much going on with that.
Has she spoken at all about the rally?
No, she hasn't. I haven't reached out to her, but no, she hasn't.
Do you know her too?
I don't know her. I probably know someone who does, though, but I don't.
I'm sure you do.
All right, I'm looking at the press release right now, and I'm pretty jazzed because I'm very strongly connected with labor. I feel a lot of solidarity, and I'm seeing on here at least one on this press release. The image isn't huge, so I can't see everyone. Sorry if I'm missing your group right now, but I do see Chicago Teachers Union, and that makes me super happy to be in solidarity with that group. And excellent work, by the way, reaching out to these organizations.
Thank you. That
so
was
good.
That took a lot. But I love the Chicago Teachers Union. My dad was way back when. He was a teacher at Inglewood High School. He was a music teacher, choir teacher, and then he was later promoted to vocal music coordinator of the Chicago Public Schools. So I can't say if he was like a delegate or anything, but that's how I learned a little bit about unions, and I started to notice they got a higher profile under Karen Lewis, rest in peace, who's president, and I was very, admired her work, and how they would fight against, City Hall and mayor, whichever mayor was in place, they would accept maybe here in Washington. I don't know if they were fighting him, but they've been fighting the Dailies and Rahm Emmanuel, and of course Life with Two. Unfortunately, she seems to have picked up the same tactics. But yes, I love the teachers union. It's hard to get a lot of these organizations, and so I was able to join the CTU Black Caucus. They have meetings, and so one day I went and I was like, "Hi, I'd like to talk about this march and in the meeting." And they have a section in the agenda where you can talk about other stuff, and so I was able to do that. And I was like, "Who can I contact in this CTU?" Because I didn't know who. I'm like, how do I get in there? Because they just have like a number for members, and so I don't how do I get a human? So they gave me some names, and I looked them up and sent them an email, and so I got a response from Richard Berg, and I was like, yes, help. I want to get CTU on board. It is hard because this isn't their season for activism, so I can't say that there will be like much of a presence other than just volunteer people that are just interested, teachers that are interested, because they usually do their stuff from August to May. This is July because, summer. So, but I did get their stamp of approval, and that was the thing I was thinking I wanted most about getting these logos, is be able to show that on the record, these are organizations you might not ordinarily know of being in support of Medicare for All. So
yeah. And I'm going to take center stage real quick here
Sure.
and speak directly to our audience. I'm looking right down the cannon here. If you guys know of any organizations that are not already on board with this, let's help Joy's efforts out, and let's get even more organizations on there, especially if you know any union members. That would be so cool to get way more labor involved with this fight and have us all come together, because I love me some organized labor, and it'd be so cool for us to be together on this. Thanks for that moment, everybody.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Sure. 15 seconds of fame.
Yeah.
Yeah, solidarity is everything in this coalition, and moving along together. So it was really important for us to have people who didn't want corporate contributions or corporate PAC money involved in this. This was a really great opportunity for us to draw that line in the sand and be able to represent what the people really want, which is, not only healthcare, but a political system that isn't reliant on these corporate contributions.
Exactly.
Right. It's when I was first in the movement several decades ago, it was very much a thing to have people over profits. And here we are still, and again, and we still are, people are suffering. They're dying. They're not getting the health care that they need for the sole reason of there is not enough money in the United States. That's not acceptable to me. And I want to pass on a better government system and a better culture for my children. So when they are older and when they have children, they don't have to live in this income-based government system.
Oh, we do have a speaker from the National Nurses United's Medicare Leadership graduate, Martise Chisholm. So I'm excited to hear her speak. Yes, Martise, she's going to be great.
Yeah.
So that's union adjacent, union-ish.
It's union-ish. So what's his profile, his bio? What's his deal?
Oh, Martise, she's
sorry.
National Nurses United's Medicare Leadership graduate.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
cool.
Yes. We weren't able to get the National Nurses United's endorsement because they are not yet approving outdoor activities especially with the Delta variant. So it wasn't a personal thing. It's just, they're trying to be cautious and safe and trying to protect us, and which is I appreciate. So I am still requesting people to wear their masks, even if they're vaccinated. I'm requesting it. I will have my mask on. So, definitely. And I'm fully vaccinated. I'm going to be wearing my mask.
Same. Yep.
Good. Be
Wear
safe.
that mask.
Yes, right. Be cautious.
Yeah, in these large gatherings, even though it's fresh open air, and I know it may not be like the ordinance right now, but we're bound to get scrunched together quite a bit. And during the summer protests before, also wore a mask, so I'll happily wear one here. I encourage everyone, but I know it won't be unanimous participation, but I always encourage people to
absolutely
wear that mask.
That and socially distance, and we will have
as best we
hand
can,
sanitizing stations there as well.
Excellent.
Yes, can't wait.
Expect for a hot day, Chicago.
I know. I hope it's not.
Is it going to be hot out? Is it going to be hot? Let me check the weather. Hold on.
I hope not. I'm afraid to look.
Saturday, high of 86. Possible thunder, lightning storms, but that's in the evening.
What? Oh.
Okay.
That's in the evening. And the 5-day forecast is right 20% of the time. I don't count on that. I've seen it saying it's raining out. I look outside, it's not. So don't. It doesn't matter.
I have the WG and Tom Skilling app. Absolutely.
He's pretty good. He's ranked as one of the best ones out there. I mean, yeah, for sure.
He is. I don't know how old he is, but I hope he keeps on going. He's great.
I remember him from when I was this big. So I mean,
Yeah, me too.
he's getting there. So yeah,
Legend.
he's definitely a legend. Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. Oh, we are going to have assistance of the Yellow Jackets. They're going.
What's that?
We're going to have Yellow Jackets there helping us with security and marketing.
What's Yellow Jackets?
Oh, they're
like the marshals.
Yes.
They
They're
help
what?
the marshals of the parade marshals.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's going to help, direct people in terms of, dealing with traffic and going through the street. And we don't plan to be in the street, but, dealing with traffic and stuff like that.
Is there any estimation of how many people you're expecting? Ish? Like even an ish?
Ish.
I mean, if not, that's fine. I mean, so.
I'm hoping for a couple thousand, but I can't, I won't know until they're there. So I don't want to jinx it either. So, there's going to be 10,000 people and 5. I don't.
It's just the 3 of you.
Yeah.
It's going to be a little bit more than 5.
There will be more than 5.
It sounds like it's gathering a lot of steam. I mean, it's like you said, it went from, a couple of cities to 52. That's crazy. I mean, that's insane. That's awesome. And it's a huge, sorry, go ahead.
No, I remember that there's just now going to be an event in Elgin, Illinois.
Oh.
I just found that out earlier today. I was like, oh, Elgin. So. But
right up. They're having their own little rally.
Yeah, they're having their own little rally. I don't know the details. I just know that we put them on the board too. Like, put them on the board,
Yeah, it's a pretty big page of cities already posted on the website. It's very impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a central website for this?
Yes, the
or is this something? Or is this Chicago one?
No,
the M for M.
And then if you go to marches, you can go down to the specific one.
I didn't realize that was like the national thing. I thought that was just for us.
No, that's for everybody. Yeah, that's for all of them.
Anna's laughing at me.
This is how I'm going to answer all of David's questions.
Just what?
This is how Calvin's going to answer all of your questions on the banner.
Right. Okay. Good.
Like, there you go. M for M.
Okay. Yeah. No, okay. Cool. I didn't realize that was the big one. So okay. Cool.
So how were folks? How can they share this around? How can they add to the momentum? Is there a Facebook group? Is there a YouTube channel? What's going on?
There's also a Facebook event that I posted in chat. So
Thank you.
There's information on there. So we will, we can try to keep our updates on there, and then as well as the major Medicare For All website that you had just put up, the M for All.
Yes, if you register, it goes through Mobilize, and so we're able to keep track of emails, and I often send like updates through that and say, this is what's going on, this is what's happening, and I think it's automatically set to send reminders to people as the days, as it gets closer and closer. That helps too. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, and we have phone banking too. So if people want to phone bank, we can train them virtually, and then even if it can call 2 to 5 people, like the good old phone tree, I think that would work out real well. So yeah, if you want to, just let us know, and we'll get you going.
Yes.
I'm so glad to hear that, because that's when an event is going to bring in some numbers, is when you have people calling and reminding them of it, or telling them about it in the first place. So that's a really good move. Let's all do that. Everybody watching, sign up for a phone.
That's right. Sign up, please.
We know you have a phone.
That's right.
And it works as a phone.
Right.
Believe it or not, that's right.
That, or if you're watching, text a few friends, let them know.
Are you going to be streaming while you're there?
Yeah.
Heartlands Media is streaming. Yes, are
you expecting a big media turnout?
I'm not expecting it. It would be great. Yes, that reminds me, I need to get I sent some feelers out, and so I have to send follow-ups, and hopefully I will get some more feedback. I called into Tom Hartman's show Friday. That was cool.
Tom Hartman from Portland, Oregon. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What was the topic? Was it about Medicare for All?
Well, Friday is like it's on anything goes Friday, and so I remembered. I was like, oh, Tom Hartman, I could call in there, and so it was near the end, but I made the queue, and so I got to talk to the man, and he had me put on hold because WCPT was getting towards the end of a commercial, and so I want to make sure that they heard me here. So I was like, oh, this is so exciting. So
That's cool. That's great.
Got to do that. It was good.
Yeah, I watch them on occasion. I love that network. It's a great network.
Yeah, it's great.
So.
Let's see. I'm curious if we've got Alaska. I wonder how many time zones we span across here.
Alaska.
Do we?
I would be shocked if we had Alaska. I'm not aware. That would be cool, though.
Yeah, man. Those some cool folks up there. They passed ranked choice voting or a version of it. So.
Oh, nice.
Right.
As a state did?
Yep, as a state. Yep.
Good for them.
No, I didn't know that.
They're taking election reform seriously.
Oh yeah, there was other stuff in that RCV one. Yeah, they got rid of or they're tracking dark money now, and yeah, Alaska's got some cool stuff. So I'd love to see them. No, there are Alaska viewers, which I'm sure we have. Go ahead and make an event. Let's get it posted.
Come on, Alaska, come on. Join us.
So I did hear that there's some pushback from some doctors against Medicare for All. Have you heard anything like that? Do you know what they're? I kind of perused it. I didn't read the arguments.
I don't know what it is. I haven't heard it. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm sure that there's always going to be pushback on anything. I wanted more books in the elementary school in 2019, and that was a big controversy over having a couple of books at school. So it's anybody's going to say, somebody's going to say something about any issue. But there are more than 60% of doctors who favor this system.
No, definitely the majority do, for sure.
The majority do.
Absolutely.
Right. So, and besides, it's just the right thing to do.
Right. There's a moral underpinning to this whole thing. So, as there should be. There should be a moral underpinning to all behavior. But, that's what a moral is for, is to guide behavior. Okay, yeah, very interesting. And I know that Joe Biden has this hybrid sort of idea going on. Like, if you like your insurance company, keep it. If you don't, then you can join a government plan. Any thoughts on that? A hybrid system like that?
It's not as good as Medicare for All, because if you have the choice, then it weakens it. It makes it easier to get rid of and to not, fund it like it needs to be funded. So we just need to do away with it. Like, if you want to have an insurance thing for elective, something like cosmetic, maybe that's.
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, even in Europe and socialized, or not socialized, but with Medicare for All systems, there are a few insurance companies for stuff like that. Like, if you just, you want to get a nose job or something like that, or something, whatever doesn't count as a truly medical procedure, then you can go ahead and drop your own cash on that and deal with this, which is how it should be.
Yes, exactly.
As a society, you should take care of the fundamentals for everybody, and after that, well, you're on your own. If you want a Lamborghini, save up your own money. We're not buying you a Lamborghini, okay?
Exactly.
Okay.
I want to agree with Joy. Absolutely right that the public option public option is just it might be okay for a while, but it is going to be sabotaged heavily, especially in more disagreeable states. With more disagreeable legislators there. So it's a system that's going to be sabotaged. They're going to hurt it in every way that they can. And then when it is hurting, they're going to point to it and say, look, government should have nothing to do with this. Exactly. There's no use trying to stay into that system where we have mafia middlemen, but you can choose the public option. You should go right to single payer, because that's going to get rid of the mafia middleman that's trying to get in between you and your doctor, and just make it as efficient as possible. Start regulating pharmaceutical prices. Start making it so that you are free at the point of service. You can leave that crappy job, that's been holding you because of that one benefit, because you're concerned for your family, you can leave that crappy job and go on elsewhere, and then it can be more of a true jobs market if you want to think of it that way. Then people can freely move from job to job, and it starts to become something where employers need to react a little bit more and start understanding that you need to treat people better. You can't keep them just because you got them by the hook by that healthcare. Oh, we can keep them here. So I think absolutely public option is not the way to go. Medicare for All is actually the compromise because, like the UK, they have nationalized healthcare there. So their doctors essentially they work for the state. The hospitals are owned by the state. So Medicare for All is the compromise. All right. Public option is not the compromise. Medicare for All is. So we need to go there as soon as possible. So, sorry, went on a bit of a.
No, I agree. Yes. Thank you.
We just don't have time for gradual policy. We need immediate answers, and we need them now. And unfortunately, it's not just about healthcare. It's about climate change. It's about jobs. It's about education. It's about making sure that next generation is taken care of properly in order for us to move forward. And I'm always telling the younger generations, focus on climate change, focus on being innovative. We really need that in our world. We need clean water. We need clean air. And especially, if we go forward without healthcare and we have these pollutions and these pollutants in our body, we're going to need it to be taken care of. So this is all interdependent, and it all is based on action right now. And so we just don't have time for gradual policy.
That's an interesting point. I mean, the more climate change gets to be a greater urgency, that has effects on health. I mean, because it has effects on soil, it has effects on agriculture, which includes our food. Which if you don't have the right food, you get sick and you get unhealthy. I just heard recently that the Amazon, the southeastern aspect portion of the Amazon rainforest is now emitting more carbon than it actually takes in. And the Amazon rainforest is a huge carbon sink, and I guess it's not anymore. It's actually flipping. So it's just getting worse and worse. And the more that happens, the more people are going to get sick, and the more healthcare you're going to need. And if people don't get it, it's one of those things. I mean, you can't just deny somebody, healthcare because again, their income or whatever. You start doing that, people are you're not going to see peaceful rallies eventually. People are going to start getting like, okay, enough of this. You can't treat people like that. It's not right. Like what happened last year. I mean, people were burning stuff down, and I'm not going to make a judgment either way on that, but I mean, it definitely ended in results that we wanted. I'll say that. Derek Chauvin is in jail, so that's good.
A riot is the language of the unheard. I think that's what MLK said.
Qualified immunity has gone out in many big cities and the state, so
yay,
stuff's happening. And that's people pressure. We need to constantly put on pressure. It is not only when you go out to vote. It is action at all times. And Anna is organizing a lot of those events, and this is one of them.
Anna, you should run for office.
Wait, I think Anna is running. Anna, why don't you plug that real quick? What office are you running for?
I'm running for state representative, District 85. This will be my second time running. So I'm the best candidate to win. We need a public bank. We need to invest our energy money in the future for future energy. And we need somebody there who's not going to take corporate contributions. And
that's right.
Remember, I do not take corporate contributions, so keep that in mind.
That's right.
Do you have a campaign catchphrase yet? You need one.
Really.
Stick it to them. Got it.
We'll get it.
Yeah, we got to come. You should come up with one. I'll see what I can come up with.
It's gonna be part of our workshop right after this. We're gonna workshop this really.
We're gonna work it out.
We only got a couple minutes left. Probably actually only 1 minute left here. So Anna, would you like to go ahead and kind of say any last words? Not your last words, but
Support Medicare for All. Please think about the people who don't have health care. We really need to be able to take care of the people with their health. So please do consider a donation or volunteers. Show up, go to a rally in your town, grab a friend, and let's show who's the power to the people. Let's show
who's the boss
we have.
Tony Danza.
Yeah.
Joy, hit us with that lasting message. Let's go.
Oh, wow. Come on. We need everybody. We need all hands on deck. I want everybody and their mama to come out and join us on this march and rally, because we want to tell the people in power, the powers that be, that what they think is going to be how it is not. It's going to be how we say how it's going to be. How,
right.
you know, it's going to be how we say it's going to be.
We're going to be loud in those streets.
Yeah, we want Medicare for all for everybody. You don't have to depend on the job or whatever, and how much is in your pocket can you afford. No, it should all be covered. And you don't have to worry about it, and you don't have to go broke like so many people do.
Well, I'm excited to see everybody out there, everybody in the streets. Remember, folks, if you can't make it to one of these events that you can find at the marches at this website, if you can't make it to one of those, go make your own protests. Let's make this a really big wave this 24th.
Thank you.
Absolutely. David? Joy Bunton, Anna Schefelbein, thanks for being on the show. This was very informative. Thank you for all the work you have both done concerning organizing this event. That's a huge amount of effort on both your sides. So thank you again. Everybody, thanks for tuning in to the Green Party Series of Illinois. Next week, we have Howie Hawkins, the most recent candidate for president for the Green Party. He'll be on again 8 to 9 Central Time. Tune in then. Until next time, be good, be green.